so much for joining me today. Firstly, I would like to ask you more about who Kim is and how she got into the industry.
Okay. So Kim is a single mom of two who from a young age wanted to travel the world. So for me, I got into travel because I literally wanted to see every corner of the earth. And so I got into travel many years ago as a consultant. And I just loved it. So, you know, in the old days of travel, I sound ancient, but you could travel anywhere all the time. And it was literally the best fun ever. And I just think the travel industry, with the amount of people you meet and the kind of friendships you make, once you're in it, everybody says you'll never get out. And I really believe that's true. So yeah, I just love to travel, and I consulted for a long time, but really consulting is not my thing. So I take my hat off to all the travel consultants out there. And so when I joined TourVest many years ago, I had an opportunity to do account management and sales. And I've literally been doing account management and sales for years, 15 to 20 years. So, you know, the reason I'm still in the travel industry, I think, is because I can get to interact with different people every day. And I love what I do. And even though we don't travel like we used to, it's still probably the best place to be, and just like the best industry to be in from a relationships and friendships perspective.
Amazing, it's true. It really is. My next question would be: you've nominated Jonathan Gerber. Would you like me to would you like to tell us more about your relationship with him and how you got to work with him?
Yes, of course. So Jonathan was the ex-CEO of TourVest Travel Services when I was working for Seekers as a travel consultant. So I've known Jonathan for many years, even though I didn't work with Jonathan directly at TourVest. When I went into sales and I was working at TourVest and then joined another company, Wings Corporate Travel, Jonathan phoned me and said, no, you know, he really wants me to join his tag team. And I had known Jonathan by reputation and also having known him through TourVest. So I joined Jonathan's team at TAG, the Travel Assignment Group, as their head of sales about 5 years ago now. And I just think the way Jonathan is and how he treats his people and the company he's built as TAG really drew me to want to be in that environment. Because, you know, corporate environments can be difficult and it can be hard. And, you know, to belong in an environment where you just felt at home and you felt safe and secure and you felt it was a place you could thrive, that's how I ended up working with Jonathan at TAG. So, yeah. So I've known Jonathan for ages, and then he found me when I left TourVest, and now we work together at TAG, which is amazing.
Amazing. That's great. My last question would be, Kim, was there any motivation or positive messages that Jonathan shared with you and maybe your team that you would like to share with us?
Definitely. I think Jonathan is a true people's person. So he cares about his people, whether it be us as his team and the bigger TAG group of companies or our clients. He just genuinely cares about people. So when lockdown started, he made phenomenal business decisions, which just made sure that we could all keep our jobs. We could still work at TAG. We came together as a team, not even just our management team, but our entire workforce came together as a team and decided that through thick and thin, we would do whatever it took to make sure that TAG survived. And I think he drove that process. So, you know, being a CEO of a corporate company is not easy. And the decisions that needed to be made through COVID must have been soul destroying. But Jonathan just did everything with us in mind. His management team, his staff, he looked after us. He communicated every step of the way. There was never a case where anybody at TAG felt like we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know where we were in the process. We didn't know what our path would be for the next 2 years. And so I think from a communications and a caring perspective, there is nobody in the industry like Jonathan. So he just made sure that every single team member was communicated to. Every Monday at 10 o'clock, we got an email that said what would happen in the week, what was going to happen going forward. And the thing with the communication is, you know, it's been tough in our industry, but we were always positively affected by Jonathan. He always had a positive thing to say about the teams, about the country, about what COVID would mean to us. And yes, we had people who were retrenched and furloughed, but everybody was treated with such respect and such dignity. And I think TAG as a company, and headed up by Jonathan, literally did more for their staff than anyone I know of. So from care packages in December, to helping with airtime to work at home, with helping with transport costs. There's just so much that TAG did for us, understanding that financially a lot of us and our team would be affected. Jonathan drove everything he could to keep TAG where it is. And I just don't think a lot of people in our industry did that. And maybe I'm wrong, but he's a complete hero to the TAG team, our entire team. And to me, of course. So yeah, he's a phenomenal leader, and he's done over and above what we would expect any CEO to do.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you so much for joining me on our Lifting Others nomination. Firstly, I would like to ask, who is Jonathan and how did he get himself into the industry?
Yeah, it's a long and involved story. But many moons ago, I started as a sales consultant with American Express Card Division, whilst we were still part of Nedbank, and then I was part of the acquisition of Tourvest of the Amex brands, and that's how I found myself up in travel. Cutting a long story short.
Yeah, definitely. My next question, Jonathan, would be, you've worked with Kim Parker. You guys are still working together. She nominated you for being a superlifter, and she gave me so many reasons. But why do you think she was compelled to nominate you?
Jeepers. I think she wants a salary increase. No, I have no idea. But I've worked with Kim in many. I worked with her at Tourvest, and now I work with her in at Travel Assignment Group, and we've spent many years together. And I would like to think, I don't know what her reasons were, but I would like to think it's because I give people a chance. I allow them to make their own mistakes, to learn from them. And give them their freedom and flexibility. And if they can prove to me that they are worthy of that, then it's worth giving them a chance and letting them shine.
Definitely. Jonathan, knowing that COVID hit so many businesses in the tourism industry so hard, and still currently businesses and people are struggling to get back on their feet, is there any motivation you would like to send out to them?
Yeah, I think right now we're sort of in the perfect storm. So if your business is still around, that's a very good thing, because who would have thought that you could have a business that for virtually 12 months would have very little revenue? And the fact that there are so many resilient travel businesses, and anecdotally, I talk to people all the time, and they're very desperate to go and meet their colleagues overseas, or to go and visit friends and family, and all those types of things. So whilst we might be in a terrible place right now, I certainly think that travel still has lots of legs. It is aspirational. People want to go and see new and different places. And I think through COVID, with people not being able to, I think it's also sort of heightened their wanderlust and wanting to go and see and do new things and see new places and go and visit family and friends and just retouch and reconnect with people.
Definitely, that's true. Jonathan, I want to slip this question in. I want to know from you, how did you cope? How did your team cope? And how did your employees that you work with, how did you inspire them to cope with the pandemic circumstances?
I think in our own personal environment, I think communication is critical. I think telling people where you are, where the business is at, and not just communicating, but being constant in your communication. So in our business, for example, we have a weekly chat. I send out a weekly email just to update people where we're at, what's going on, how we're doing, are things in line with our expectations. And just to give them a level of comfort, that we're not going anywhere, and that whilst we might all be working from home and we don't see our colleagues every day, that we very much are still a force to be reckoned with. And I think humor is critical. We can all get a bit down on ourselves, and why am I in travel and all those types of things. But we're lucky, we're in an industry that ultimately sells dreams. And that's what I still believe in. I still believe that we'll get to that space where, travel will be that. It's not just business related. It's new places, it's new people, it's new things, it's new experiences. And that's what I cling to. And I've got such great colleagues here at TAG. And they've helped me, and hopefully I've helped them along the way too. We've still got some way to run, but I'm confident that we'll get through this, and that we'll actually come out the other side stronger for it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for the work that you've done, for keeping your spirit alive and the spirits of your team. Thank you for being a super lifter.